Hey everybody, welcome to Buratech. In this episode, we're going to be talking about what you should be investing in 2021. Alright, welcome back. First on this video, I want to make sure that you like and subscribe. The more likes and subscribers we get, the more content we can make. So, I talk a lot about entrepreneurship and coding on this channel, but the one thing that you need to understand if you like these two topics is what to do with your money once you have made it. Now, even if you've made a small amount, there are a ton of options for you. But I'm going to be specifically talking about gold, silver, precious metals in general, Bitcoin, and real estate. So 2020 has been an interesting year. There's a lot of people that have been saving a lot of money, and there's a lot of people that have absolutely nothing. And I think this is a failure at all levels of government, and I don't care which party you like, I think it's a failure of the complete system. The money that was printed never went to the people that needed it most. And this is going to cause a lot of problems. And the one thing that I look at on a daily basis is where to put my money and to make sure that it's safe. Now, one of the things that a lot of people are talking about right now is inflation. And inflation is a very complicated topic, but the short of it is that things are going to cost more in the future, so you should go and spend it today. What this means is that if you buy eggs for $4 today, it might be $5 next year, even though your paycheck is roughly the same. And this is something that you need to understand. And inflation has been happening for decades now, and it's one thing that you need to do to protect your income. So how do you do that? Well, one of the ways that you do that is to make sure that you buy things that appreciate. This can be stocks, it can be real estate, it can be precious metals. It doesn't matter what you're buying as long as it appreciates. So what you should be doing is saving your money, but now more than ever, you need to be saving your money in a store of value that will retain its value. So that's the big question. What is going to store the value of the money that you're saving? Is it going to be fiat currency? Is it going to be precious metals? What is it? What I'm doing is I'm taking a balanced approach to all of this. I am buying gold and silver, Bitcoin, and a few other cryptos, as well as stocks. I'm gonna make sure I'm buying all of these because I don't know which one's gonna have the biggest yield. So Bitcoin is again almost at $20,000 USD. And remember, the last time this happened, people cried bubble. Now this can be a bubble again, but I don't think it is. I think a lot of people are really waking up to find out what Bitcoin really is. So if you're still on the fence as to why Bitcoin is a store of value, it's because one, there's a finite amount of Bitcoins, and two, it's backed up by the blockchain, which is proof of work that there are only a finite amount of Bitcoins. So what this means is that the more money people funnel into Bitcoin, the higher the price is going to be. The best thing about Bitcoin is that unlike gold and silver, you can buy any amount. You can buy $1 or you can buy $1 million, and it's still going to appreciate the same amount. Gold and silver don't work like that. You have to at least buy 1 ounce of gold or silver. Now, buying an ounce of silver isn't that expensive, but buying an ounce of gold is around $1,700, $1,800, $1,900 at the time of this video. And the thing about that is that if you don't have that money, you can't really invest in gold. But everyone can invest in Bitcoin, and that's what makes it so amazing. You can also invest in other cryptos like Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. There are a ton of cryptos that you can invest in. And the thing about today versus the last time we were at these highs is that there is a lot less fraud in the system. So the coins that you are buying do have more value. And again, every single crypto that you buy is backed up by the blockchain. They all work a little bit differently. If you really want to get into cryptocurrencies, I recommend downloading Coinbase. It is a very good app, and it allows you to upload fiat from a credit card or a bank, and it gives you a very nice description of each crypto, and it has a lot of coins. Now, of course, I have multiple crypto apps here. The one that I do most of my training is crypto.com, but Coinbase is also good. The best way to do Coinbase is to dollar cost average Bitcoin and Ethereum at the very least. If you just put in $100 regardless of the price, I bet you will make money. Now, the other thing about Bitcoin is that it is going to be very volatile. As of this video, it is above 19,000, but you know what? In 2 months, it could be at the $10,000 level. I'm not making that prediction, but it absolutely could go there. If it does go there, that means you just get to buy more. I am super bullish Bitcoin because I think that Bitcoin is going to be the new gold standard. And if there's a book that you should check out, it is Jeff Booth's book right here. This book is amazing and I highly recommend that you read it, but I'm going to give you a very short synopsis. In his book, he mentions that technology is inherently deflationary. That means that you're getting more for less, and central banks only know how to inflate. And the only answer to that inflation is Bitcoin, because unlike gold, which was used as sound money in the past, it's hard to transfer gold across the world. And now, since the economy is so advanced, we need a digital solution, and that digital solution is Bitcoin. So again, if you dollar cost average, that is maybe putting $50 or $100 a week into Bitcoin or Ethereum, I think you'll make money in the long term. Now, of course, it can go down, and of course, you can lose all your money, but I don't think that's gonna happen with Bitcoin. At most, you might lose 75% of your money, but if you dollar cost average, you get to buy at the 75% below of what you currently bought it. And when it gets back up to the current level, if it goes down there and if it comes back up, you will make money. Dollar cost averaging is probably one of the best things you can do. The fundamentals of Bitcoin are sound. The other thing about Coinbase is you can actually set up daily payments, weekly payments, monthly payments, etc. So you can just essentially debit this automatically into your Coinbase wallet. It's really, really good. So if you really want to play the volatility, you can set up your Coinbase account to take maybe $10 a day. However, there is a fee with this, and the fees do get higher, but my argument is that the volatility will more than pay for the fees. So let's talk about volatility. If you really want to make money in stocks or cryptos or precious metals, it doesn't matter what it is, you have to do your homework and you have to be able to stomach the volatility. What that means is that if you want to buy a stock and this stock is, let's say, the new big Tesla, you have to deal with maybe 20, 30, or 40% move. Tesla's a good example of a volatility stock in the past, although Tesla has definitely proven its worth. So if you've ever followed Tesla, you'll know that it might be up 20%, maybe in a day, maybe in a week, and then it'll be down 20%. So you have to be able to stomach that. You also have to do your homework to see which companies are going to make it in the long run. The best way to make money is to set a little bit of money and forget it. So let's say you were awarded $20,000. What would you put your money in? One of the best ways that you can put your money in is to buy literally 20 different stocks for $1,000 each. That way, if one of your stocks goes bankrupt, then guess what? You've only lost $1,000. With apps like Robinhood, you don't have to pay commissions anymore, and this is an absolute game changer. If you don't have to pay commissions, then you get to keep 100% of the gains. Also, if you were, let's say, awarded $20,000, you can actually build a portfolio. You can figure out how many is in tech, how many is in industry, how many is in mining. You can do whatever you want with it, and you have to do your homework. 20 different stocks is a good start. If you really want to start with 5, that's a good thing too. Now, one of the biggest and most funniest things about investing is as soon as you buy something, it drops a lot. Now, when I started to buy silver and gold, they actually crashed a lot. Silver crashed 40%, and I wish I had bought more, but I didn't. So let's say you have done your homework on one company, and the company, for whatever reason, drops 30% the next day, or maybe in the next month. Well, guess what you can do? You can dollar cost average and buy more. If the fundamentals are sound on a company, then you should absolutely double down. Now, of course, you don't want to double down everything, but let's say you took my example of investing $20,000 into 20 different stocks, and you have maybe a little bit of extra money in a couple months, and the stock that went down 20% or 30% is, well, frankly, on sale. You can go buy more, because if it goes back up to your purchase price, then you've made money. Dollar cost averaging is really good. If you really want to make money, I would recommend looking at day trading. But here's the thing about day trading. You want to take a small amount and see if you can double it. So the other thing about people getting rich is that they really do put in the work. And one of the ways that you can become very wealthy is day trading. It's very, very difficult, and this failure rate is very, very high. So what I recommend with day trading is to take a small amount and see how long it takes to double it. With apps like Robinhood, and there's no commission, you can really do any amount. I would recommend maybe $1,000 to $10,000, no more than $10,000. If you can't turn 10,000 into 20, you can't turn 100 into 200 or 1 million into 2 million. So that's why I recommend going 1,000 to 2,000 or 5,000 to 10,000. Try to double your money. And remember, if you double your money a certain amount of times, it really doesn't take that many times to make a lot of money. A lot of people go to Wall Street Bets, and I like going there every day just for my daily meme humor fix. But one thing I do not recommend is playing options. It is too risky, and personally for me, I think it's far too risky. So of course, there's a lot of people who post very massive gains on Wall Street Bets, but you cannot compare yourself to them because one, these people are somewhat lucky, and two, there's a lot more people losing a lot more money than all the people that are posting gains. So options are good if you're a very sophisticated trader. However, if you're not, I would not do that. And I don't think I'm ever gonna play with options unless there's a huge liquidity event again, in which case I might try some calls. So if you really want to day trade, there are a bunch of ETFs that track commodities like oil, natural gas, gold, silver, etc. So once you figure out how to trade these commodities through these ETFs, and if you can double your money, you will be financially secure forever. Because if you can figure out again how to double your money, a very small amount of money, then you can go and expand that money. And once you're done, like let's say you've made 100 grand from $5,000, well, guess what? You can start the process all over again. You can take 95% of that out, maybe buy a house or maybe buy a Tesla. It doesn't matter, but then you do it again. This is probably the best way to do day trading. Remember that all gains that you get from day trading are very special and you should treat them special. And the hardest thing that you need to understand about when you make gains in the stock market is that there is a factor of luck, and it's most likely not you personally who's been doing all the work. So if you've ever played sports, a lot of coaches will tell you to either value the puck, value the ball. Whenever you have possession of the ball or puck or frisbee or whatever, you should value it. Gains in the stock market are exactly the same way. You should value every single gains very well. So I haven't talked about gold and silver, which is my favorite topic. So going back to the early part of this video, we talked about money printing, and money printing means that there's gonna be a ton of supply of fiat currency, whether that be US dollars, euros, Canadian dollars, Japanese yen, it doesn't matter what it is that there's gonna be more supply of it. And if there's more supply of it, it's probably gonna be worth less. So when money printing usually happens, finite assets like gold and silver tend to go up. Now, let's talk about gold. Gold has a 5,000 year record of storing value. So is that gonna change in the next 5, 10, or 100 years? Probably not. So if you put your money into gold, it's one of those things that if you buy it, you set it and forget it, and chances are in the future it's gonna be worth more. Again, if it goes down, you can always dollar cost average. So gold is an extremely safe bet because you cannot make gold. It is made in this fusion of stars. That's how finite it is. The only thing that would really reduce the price of gold is if we found some mines or we created a nuclear reactor that created gold. But it takes way too much energy to do that. And we know exactly how much gold there is on the planet. So if you want to buy gold, it's probably a good bet. Now, silver is a little bit different. Silver is used in everything, and I'm probably gonna make a whole episode about silver because this is a technology channel, and our modern day world would be absolutely non-existent without silver. Silver is the most conductive metal, and it's used pretty much in every electronic device. Now, silver had a huge bump up in the last little while, and the reason is that I think silver is the least priced commodity. So I purchased a lot of physical silver and some gold this year, and I think silver could at least 10x. First of all, the market of silver is really tight, and if there's one chart that will convince you to buy some physical silver, it is this chart. Look how little silver there is compared to the rest of the financial economy. It's absolutely insane. So all of that money from the financial economy could funnel into silver because, again, silver is integral to batteries, solar panels, and all electronic devices. We've all heard of gold standard, but there used to be a silver standard. In fact, some of you might even have heard the phrase silver for commoners, gold for kings. So there used to be silver standards all across the world, and it has been used as hard and sound money in the past. And while that's probably not going to happen, it is used as a strategic metal today. Because there is such a finite supply of silver, there's only so much of it to go around. One of the things I say is that silver is going to be the Christmas gift of the year. So what I mean by that is that if you remember back to some Christmas past, like for example the Nintendo Wii, there wasn't enough Nintendo Wiis to go around, and it was the Christmas gift of the year. And oftentimes there would be demand for a product, and that product simply could not be produced. I think the same thing is going to happen to silver. You're not going to be able to get it because everybody wants it. Everybody's going to want to have something finite, and silver, because it's lower than gold, is a lot more accessible for the reasons I mentioned earlier. If you want to buy gold and silver, you have to buy at least an ounce. Now, of course, you can buy bars, and that's usually what I buy, but if you want to buy silver and gold, you can't really buy a quarter ounce of gold. You really won't make much money on that. However, if you do buy a silver coin, silver bar, or a big silver bar, you will make money on that. And I think this is absolutely going to happen, especially because now that solar panels are going to be in the forefront of this decade. Solar panels use silver, a lot of silver. So because of that, and because the silver market is so incredibly tight, I bet you the price of silver is going to go up. And it's going to go up a lot. Now, lots of people ask, should you own silver miners, gold miners, or physical silver or gold silver? So here is what you should absolutely have. I say that you should have at least 1 gold ounce and 100 ounces of silver per person in your family. If you're single, just those 2. If you have a family of 4, then you need 4 ounces of gold and 400 ounces of silver. This is the absolute minimum thing. Now, if you've also watched this channel, I've mentioned that one of the things that could really affect technology and humanity is a solar flare. And guess what? It's a coin flip in the next 30 years as to whether or not a devastating solar flare is going to engulf the Earth. So what this means is that we might have to shut down our technology for months before this solar flare comes out. And think about the damage. And what will happen is if everyone is using a digital currency like Bitcoin, they're going to have to go back to hard money. What is hard money? What has thousands of years under its belt as hard money, and as basically everyone has a consensus as to what stores value? Gold and silver. So in the event of a solar flare, you're going to thank me to having 1 gold ounce and 100 ounces of silver. Now, if in that case, you should probably buy the silver coins because they're a little bit more divisible. Dividing up 100 ounces of silver might be a little bit tricky, but it's something to continue. Now, of course, I don't want a solar flare to happen, but you have to prepare for the worst. And a coin flip is a fairly high probability that this is going to happen. I think it would be absolutely ironic is if the world went digital after the coronavirus, only to have a solar flare wipe out the digitality of humanity. This is something I spend a lot of my time researching, that is gold and silver, miners, and basically macroeconomics. And one of the things that I really recommend that anybody do for their career is to always be interested in something. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be cooking, it can be playing a musical instrument, it can be horseback riding. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as you have goals and you learn more things, I think you as a person will have a better career. All right, so that concludes this video. This was a super long video and it took a long time to make. So please like and subscribe and share this video if you got any value of it. Also, if you really like this video, you can buy our digital products down below. Because this channel doesn't do a Patreon. Instead, we sell our digital products down below. The more money you get from the content that you buy below, the more content we can make. If you really like this channel, you can subscribe to Mammoth Interactive's huge library of content. We release 20 to 60 hours of fresh new content per month. This includes everything from cybersecurity tutorials to machine learning tutorials to drawing tutorials and more. We're constantly making more content. So it is a fantastic deal. And not only that, you help out this channel being free and my company, Mammoth Interactive. Our goal is to get to 10,000 monthly subscribers. And once that happens, our e-learning company will change the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.